McKane Wells, Milton, Iowa. And we're on a farm that we had corn on corn this year, and then harvested late October, 1st of November, and flew on some cover crops here in late August, early September. So out here in this field, I put a mix of crimson clover, radish, and turnip. The radish was eco-till radish, and then just a purple top turnip with a few forage turnips mixed into the bar cans, because I knew I was going to be grazing it. On other stuff, I just do the purple top for cover. The cows, we turned them out be a week and a half ago on it, and so they're getting some goodie out of it. Like I said, I wish it was a little bigger, but that's probably every year. So I'm pretty hopeful if we get more rain later in the fall next year or late summer, that you could get a better growth out of it. So this farm here, my wife and I bought last year, and so in the future the plans are to put permanent fence around it, because I plan on pretty much continually grazing this. But right now what we've got is some permanent fence and then some hot wire fence that we're using a single strand. We like to do single strand barb or high tensile for a perimeter fence, just because we feel like the poly isn't as strong, and we've got a lot of deer around here that can't see it. Well, they can, but they just choose to run into it, seems like, and knock stuff off, and so that can cause issues, especially being close to a highway. You want to make sure your fence is in good shape. So I use steel post and then step-in post with the kind of the pigtail step-in post, and it makes it quick. This fence here is basically just regular red brand barbed wire. They make high tensile barbed wire as well, but it's a little harder to deal with. Just regular barbed wire works pretty well. And then the main thing is to get good insulators. So we found that like the yellow ones, they're more brittle in the sun and they'll break off easier too. These black ones seem like they hold up better, and if they have a pin that goes through it, it's more secure that way too. So there's some that you can pop on, and they're quicker, but you can't, like if it gets bumped by something, it'll knock it off too. So that's why we use that. And then I try to do kind of every other, like the steel post hold things up better, and then the step-ins just kind of keep it from hitting the ground. So I try to do every other, and just you can spread it out quite a ways that way. And this fence here is a 6-strand barb. Kind of the standard's either a 5 or 6 strand, or you can have woven wire and a barb on top. We went with the 6-strand barb just because it seemed like the woven wire, that's good for smaller animals and stuff, and it's good for cows too. But if they ever do get hungry or start searching for food, they can push on that woven wire more, and so they can push it until it falls down. The barbed wire, when they start to push along that, then it obviously repels them. And so that's why I went with the all barb. Historically lasts longer as well. And we put in pipe on this one, and the pipe is just driven in with like a post driver. In southeast Iowa, usually we put in hedge posts down here, but this is kind of, I'd say in the last probably 10 years, pipes become really popular. It's quicker to put in, it's easier, and it should last as long. I mean, hedge posts have been around for a long time too, but definitely better than like some of those, like an old telephone pole or something like that, like creasing posts, but it works pretty well. So when we're grazing out here, I pretty much, on corn stalks, I pretty much let them run. When I've grazed wheat in the past, we're lucky, I guess, that a lot of our fields have pastures connected to them. And so we could shut them back onto the pasture and keep it off of the field. Grazing cows in different spots, I needed some way to corral them up at the end of the year when we were done grazing them. And it was either go out and buy a expensive one on wheels, or you can get these panels for around $350 to $375 a piece, and they'll last forever. But you just move them with the skid loader, and they've got legs on them that you can put them anywhere, and they stand, and the cows can push on them, and they're pretty stable. They've got chains that you just chain them together, and you can put it in any shape you want. And so I generally come in, set up how I want these ones, and then I add little gates just wire it to them to load out of. This has made it easier to corral them for sure. Before that, it really limited to where we would set up to do it. So we'd only graze on spots that we could either run them back into a pasture where we already had one set up that you could load out of, or like I had even rented a corral too to load them out of last year, so that just saves having to rent something. And it works pretty well. You can fit quite a few cows, and just I've got 10 total. I've got one corral set up here, and then I've got another with partial of them, and then I got another corral set up at another spot with the other 4. So overall, it works pretty well.